expanding the screen behind you real quick here. There we go. All right, so we are rolling here. Um, so I read the information that y'all put out there yesterday, and your goals. Your goals are great. Um, Very excited to see the information on the veterinary care, especially that holds something near and dear to my heart there, especially since I do run a rescue. I run a 503c rescue. In case you don't know what a 5013C is, that is a nonprofit rescue. So I do run an animal rescue. I do wildlife rescue as well, native wildlife. Any Florida wildlife, we do gators, we do bobcats, we do all the birds of prey that you see out and about. We work with a black bear named Josh, who is incredible. So do all that. Anybody who knows the Gator Boys, we do the dentals on their gators. They're crazy. They have little nubby fingers. For obvious reasons. If you've ever seen Dr. K's Animal Emergency Clinic on television, you might see me on there. Dr. K is a friend, an incredible veterinarian. She's also Cuckoo. Cuckoo is Cocoa Puffs. If you are ever in the Orlando area and you go to the exotic animal hospital there, Dr. Diaz there, I've known since before he was a doctor. So I'm quite involved with the veterinary scene out and about. So many of you expressed interest in specialty cares and veterinary situations. Um, Worked with several of them. I know one that specializes only in optometry for sea life, mammals as particular. We have a lot of dolphins and things that end up with eye injuries. That's all they do is they do eye injuries and things like that. So specialty care, cancer care, things like that, anything you can think of for humans is available with animals. So when you say these things that you want to do, yes, they are there. One person in particular, I don't name names, had for their goal graduate. Now, this is not an extremely long-term goal, but it is still a goal that's reachable. And even though it's not as long-term as I would like, I want to talk about this because when you have a goal like this and it's reachable and you do it, it helps build momentum. It makes you feel good. It's something you've accomplished and you should be proud of. And when it builds momentum, it keeps you going. How many people make lists of things you need to do? Either mentally, you put it on your phone or something, but you keep track of things you need to do. How many people do these things? All right, that's great. Uh, Anybody else ever make a list of things you need to do? And sometimes you put things on there that you may have actually even done or something real little, but it gives you a sense of accomplishment, right? And so those are great things because they help build momentum and make you feel good. How many people are feeling good out there today? Anybody feeling good? Halfway through the week. All right, you should feel good. How many people are starting to realize, hey, I am not just a student, I am a professional? How many people are starting to feel more like a professional? You're getting that through. Yeah, yeah, awesome. I want you to keep that in mind. You're doing incredible. Okay, that is something I want you to realize. Now, I told you on day one, I'm as honest as I am ugly. I want you to know that so far I am extremely impressed with this group, even though as small as it is, you are moving along so much more than some previous groups. And I'm not saying that to slam anybody, but you have a motivation, you have a drive. This is what's going to keep you going. All right. Any questions so far before we dive right in? Because I know you want to get into there and find out what's going on. Any questions? All right, we're good. Yes, yes. That's your symbol for thumbs up. Yes, we are good. That way I know one person's good, two people are good. Yes, we are good. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to share, and not the singer. Although I have seen her 3 times. She is incredible, puts on a great show, and I think she's going to be around forever. I love music of all kinds, so you're going to hear musical references. I listen to pop music. I love my heavy metal. I will even put on Enya. Anybody out there know little short guy? I like to call him short because he's one of the few people I know is shorter than me, named Pitbull. Anybody know Pitbull in the 954 area? Yeah. Uh, he puts on nice New Year's parties, and I'm not talking about the ones on TV. One of the benefits of living down south, got to go to his parties, puts on great parties, but let me tell you, friends of mine do the bartending for his parties. His friends are cheap. So just so you know, rich people are cheap too. They don't tip. So just so you know, money doesn't give you class. All right, so here we are. We are in week 1. We are halfway through, and I am so proud of you. I do want to show you something if you look at your grades here or your grades here. So I'm going to, oops, I need to look at this as a student. Back this up. All right, come in here. Sorry about that. You as a student, go into my grades here because I want to show you something that I put in here just so you know. Right here, see this little blurb here? If you see that and I click on that right here, this is how notes appear. I want to show you, if you see these little blurbs out here, that means I'm leaving comments on your assignments. So if you happen to see those in your grade book, click on those, see what I happen to say. Sometimes I do put comments out there for you to take a look at. All right, so there you go. That's how I can get you some feedback. So we have done everything in here. If you've missed anything, I will send you a little note saying, hey, don't forget about this. Even though it's still open, sometimes we forget, and I like to remind you. But we're all the way down here on Wednesday, and we're going to talk about a couple of things. First one I want to talk about is this resume session. Okay, now in this class, even though we're small, there might be other classes out there trying to schedule. So what you're going to do is you're going to schedule down here, boop, 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 call your career service advisor, or you may be able to just speak with her. I know she's very much involved with your class, and set up a resume meeting. You're going to be doing 2 different appointments, okay? A mock interview and a resume meeting. Talk to her, find out how these are done, set up your appointment. In the resume session, if you have a resume, she's going to go over it. Make sure it is top notch. Now, resumes are important for every career. Even once you get in your career, keep updating. I'm looking at everybody, okay? Keep updating it because when new positions open or an opportunity to move up, a lot of times they want to see your resume, even though they know your work. It's a read, look, and recheck at your particular skills. Okay, this is why we update those resumes, and resumes are called living documents. That means they are alive, they're vibrant, they grow as we grow. Always keep those updated and on the ready because you never know who you're going to meet and when. And I'm going to give you a case in point. I had students in my class and I was at Universal Studios. Whoop, whoop. Yes, I'd like me some fun. Okay. And we're in line and we're going to ride the Velocicoaster because it's a grand opening for it. And my parents love roller coasters. Yes, my 76-year-old mom and my 84-year-old dad and us, we are at the grand opening of Velocicoaster. And who do I run into but one of my students? We're standing in an incredibly long line, but I'm still looking fly and we're having a great old time and we're talking about their career and the person in front of us overhears it and happens to be what? An owner of a company in the same career field. Starts eavesdropping and pretty soon we're all chatting. And my student happens to be listening to things I've told them. And lo and behold, pretty soon I've got all of us chatting there, and it turns into an impromptu, on the spot, little bit of an interview. My student was smart enough, had a digital contact card on there. They exchanged information. My student rode that roller coaster, had a great time, and left with an interview set up for the following week. Now, also having an updated resume, was able to send that to that person in line there. Be prepared. Got it? Does everybody understand? Be prepared at all times. This is what's going to happen. When you have that resume, you're going to have it. You never know when these things are going to pop up. Okay? Now, as far as loyalty to companies, yes, you want to be loyal to your company, but when opportunity strikes, how many people have their own business? Every one of you. Every one of you, hint, has their own business. You are your own business. You are in business for yourself. You are your number one priority. You and your family are your number one priority. I want you to name one business out there that says you are your number one you are our number one priority. Not a single one of them. Okay? Learn the business hierarchy. They are out there for them. You are out there for yourself. That's the way business works. People will say businesses are just in it for the money. Yes, that's what they're there for. No business opens up and goes, gee, I want to be out here to help everybody else. That is a whole different type of subject. Okay. Businesses have to be there for the money. That's what they're called. They're businesses. Okay. They're not there to be your best friend. You are your own business. This is why we tell people be very careful going into business with friends and families, because when you're in the business side, you need to run it as a business and keep the friend side and the family side separate during those business times. Okay? So this resume is super important. Besides having paper copies, besides keeping it updated, always keep a digital copy with you. All right. So this is something, set this up. Once you have it set it up right here, just tell me the date and time of your appointment. Click text. Tell me when you got it set up. I'm going to mark it up and I'm going to follow up to make sure you do this. This is key. Okay. Next week is when you're going to submit that resume with the signature right here, signed off. Okay, I need a signature on that. So then you're going to take a picture of it and you're going to send that in. Okay, so you can upload right there and put a webcam photo, or you can attach a file, etc., so that you can send that right over to me. And I'm going to be so impressed, so happy that you have a resume that's going to knock people's socks off. All right. Now let's talk about this. An informational interview. So an informational interview, you're going to talk about to people in your career field right here. It specifies someone in your career field. If you're in vet, you need to talk to someone in that field. If you're in electrical, in that field. If you're in HVAC, in that field, okay? Has to be in that field. And you may say, I don't know anybody in that field. Oh yeah, you do. You can always talk to one of the instructors at Southern Tech, okay? I encourage you to talk to them. And when I say that, you're going to interview them. You want to find out the nitty gritty. Now, I can tell if somebody doesn't really talk to them. Okay. I can tell when somebody's trying to blow this off. Okay. This is a big loss to you. This is your chance to go one on one and ask somebody real questions. And you go, well, I don't know what to ask. Got you covered right here. Click on this doc, and there's a whole bunch of questions you can ask. Okay. Look at all these questions. Now, don't go through here and say, oh, I need to ask all of these. That's not what I'm telling you. These are questions you can ask, but ask what you truly want. Do you like your job? What's the worst part about it? What did you get paid? What should I ask? What are things you would change? Find out the real things. Hit them hard with questions. You know, these are the things that you can't typically get out of a class. These are real questions for real people in that job. Okay. Now, for today, I don't want your interview. I want you to tell me who you're going to interview. Okay. So think about it. Find out who you're going to interview. I need their first and last name. Don't just tell me Joe or Maria. I need first and last name. Okay. And tell me how they're involved with your career field. Okay. I need to know where they work, their title, whatever. I'm not going to call them. Okay. It's not going to be a breach of confidentiality. This is trust between you and me that you're going to give me real information. This whole class is built on trust and honesty and your work ethics. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to click and you're going to tell me the name and the position of the person you're going to interview and say submit. Okay. Now you have between now and next Wednesday to talk to this person. You can do it by phone. You can do it by video chat. You can text back and forth to get your information. You can sit down in person. You can use smoke signals, but you have until Wednesday to get the information. Does everybody understand this and the importance of this? This is something that will always be ongoing. Find out from people above you and in that field. This is valuable information. How many people have learned things from somebody that has shown them things they learned in the field? How many people have learned from people with experience? Anybody learned anything from people? Yes, this is exactly what you're doing. You're getting that information. When you meet people, you go to a function and you meet people in your career field, you're going to be doing two things: getting information from them or seeing if they have potential to get you a job. This is one of the most valuable things you can learn. And people will do the same to you. When you are in this field, people will come up to you to learn from you, and you're going to share. This is a very, very important thing. It's also difficult if you're shy. Anybody shy out there? Don't be afraid to say, I'm shy. Trust me, I do not like to approach people. I will hide behind plants. Trust me, I may not look like it, but I can hide. I can hide so quickly. And it's like hiding behind skinny things is not my forte, but I can hide. Okay, so this is how I get around it. And it sounds stupid. Trust me on this. How many people grocery shop? Anybody ever buy groceries, even though it's expensive? Yeah. When you're going through the grocery store, here's a hint. Grocery workers cannot run from you. So make it a habit when you see them, start by saying hello. Okay? Because people in the store, if you just randomly say hello, they might think you're weird, but grocery store workers can't get away from you. So just start off by when you see them, just say hello. It's a friendly thing. It'll make you feel better too, but it starts getting you used to talking to people you don't know. All right. Excuse me there. Uh, so try that. It's a way to learn to start to break the ice. It really helped me. And it just made the experience a little bit nicer. So that's a way to try to break through, get used to it. Any place you go where there's workers, try talking to the workers a little bit and it'll make things a little bit better. So those are your assignments for Wednesday. And so I want to give you a heads up there. Thursday, I want to jump ahead here. There's going to be bonus points available to you. And I want to know why you chose your uh, career. Now, this is something that I really want you to think about. You're real in depth, why you chose that. And when you get to that, what you do here is I'm not seeing the prompt on here. I will go back and check this. That is weird. I'm not seeing the prompt on here. And I'll make sure it is functioning. That's kind of rude. But what it'll allow you to do is gain 5 points on the midterm. And the reason why I do this and encourage it is a flat 5 points. But I'm not sure why I'm not getting the prompt here. I will check that out for you. And so we've had some strange bugs on this course this month, and I will make sure that's working because I want you to get that 5 points. And again, that is a flat 5 points on top of anything you score. All right. Okay, everybody good so far? Everybody awake? I got my coffee. I hope you have yours. Everybody needs coffee, I think. All right. And so here we go. And we are ready to start the show. Now, I'm going to be the first one to tell you all these chapters sound the same to me. I really wish they would come up with better chapter names because they all sound the same. We're going to talk about workplace readiness. We talked about, are you ready? Or is this ready? That ready? It's like ready, 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 ready. We're going to talk about workplace readiness. That's what they call the chapter, but it's so much more than that. Let me get my pencil. And I am going to do blue today. No, that don't show up good enough. Okay, we'll try purple. All right, here we go. So we're going to talk about basic skills, categories of soft skills, workplace ethics, and explain digital citizenship and the value of certification. I hope y'all saw the background. 93% of the players in that interview, one of the things they're most looking for is those soft skills. They know you've got the hard skills. That's why they brought you in. So let's talk about this. Your basic skills. These are things that you need to function effectively in society. And people are lacking in them, and we need to work on it. Reading, okay? Now, a good friend of mine, Nuvies. Nuvies was an Olympics swimmer, and she came to this country. She did not know English. And so she was learning English, and now she's quite an effective speaker. And how she learned, people made fun of her, but she watched Sesame Street and she started checking out children's books from the library. And at first, the librarians kept asking her, "Oh, we never see your child," blah, blah, blah. They were for her. They were for mainly geared for kindergarten kids, etc. And she worked her way up because she really needed to learn to read and write. And so she started that. So I want you to know that any level that you are at, you can improve because reading is a skill. These are all skills. That means we improve on them. Every one of us can improve. And she had a drive and a desire that she wanted to go places and do things and accomplish. And she knew she needed to learn to read and write. And she had to do it in English and do these things effectively. And so she started off at the basic level. If you have difficulties reading and writing, you can improve these things. Start at the level that you're comfortable with and work from there. Okay, there's lots of classes available at no charge in every city to help you. Okay, never be ashamed for what you were not taught. These are things that we're taught. Okay, and if we don't know how to do them, we're shamed. Never be ashamed of who you are, where you are, what you know, and what you don't know. We are all capable of doing things once we are given equal chances. All right? Speaking. How many people hate speaking in public? Hate it, hate it, hate it. Uh, yeah. Okay, so if you ever have to speak to people in public, they always tell you picture them in their underwear. Don't do that. Oh, the mental image. Don't do that. So when you're speaking with people, this is what I tell people. Look them straight in the forehead, okay? It gives the illusion that you're looking at them in the eyes, but in actuality, you're not. You don't have to look at their eyes, you don't have to look at their expressions, but it gives you the impression that you're looking straight at them. How many people go to concerts and you see the girls, oh, he's saying to me, he's looked directly at me and he's saying to me. No, they look right over your heads, and it gives the impression that he's saying directly to 300 or 400 people all at the same time, if they can even see you. Okay? Hate to burst bubbles, but nope, not singing to you, at you, unless they literally pull you on stage. Listening skills, you can hear people, but are you truly listening? Listening for content, or do you half listen and already make your mind up of with the responses? That's typically what we do in relationships. We half listen, but listen to the details because I tell you on the job, the jobs you are going into, the details are what's going to set you apart. Details in animal care can make the difference between a severe injury or possibly being killed, and the same thing with electrical, HVAC, and welding. In electrical, there's a reason why we call that center area on that circuit box the Widowmaker. Be very careful in our jobs and we listen. Mathematics, a lot of people don't like math and they don't realize that these trade careers use more math than a lot of these white collar jobs up in these ivory towers. And technology, just step back and think of how technological your job actually is. Okay, now hard skills. Your hard skills, of course, are the ones that are unique to your job. Now, let's talk about those soft skills. They're also called employability skills, foundation skills, workplace skills, and transferable skills. They're all the same thing. And these are used when you're talking or communicating with others, and you learn about these in school and life experience. Okay, and they're broken down into three areas. And I want you to think about these three areas because they do make sense. Thinking, people, and personal qualities. Okay, and so these are all types of these different types of skills. Thinking skills, they allow you to solve problems. Okay, makes sense. You're using your brain there. Okay, even if you don't find the solution, you're still thinking. Okay, this is your decision making, your creative thinking, your problem solving, even your visualization and your reasoning. So it's more than you think. Now, your people skills, these are your interpersonal skills. People say, oh, I've got great personal people skills. It's also social perception. You also heard the term read the room. Okay. What that means is be aware of what you're doing and what you're saying and how it's affecting people. Just because you're right doesn't mean that's a right time and place to do it. Okay. And negotiation, being able to see one side and the other and coming to an agreement. Again, you might be 100% right, but if you can't work with the other person, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're going to have to learn to give things up and take things back and forth to work with people. That's also where your leadership, your teamwork, and collaboration and respect. Now, we hear a lot about DEI right now, but I want you to know that quotas are never good for anything, but that doesn't mean that everything in DEI is incorrect. What that means is You're going to be working with a diverse group of people. Those are people from all different backgrounds, cultures, or demographics. You're going to have to be able to work with people, people of all ages, people of all religions, people of all different races. Okay. You will need to get along with them. You're going to have issues if you can't. So your ability to work with different people that are not 100% like you, that's going to get you places. Okay. We need to stop centering around this hot topic DEI and realize that fair working situations and treating everybody the same is still going to always be there. Work with people, treat people with respect, treat people so that they can work in the same environment with you. Personal qualities, characteristics that make up a personality. This is still a soft skill. Your self esteem, your self management, and your responsibility. How many people think their self esteem can use a boost? Anybody? Yeah. So I want you to start thinking about all the things you do right and quit focusing on the things we do wrong because people like to focus on our things we do wrong. If you do 200 things correct in a day, people will tell you about the things you do wrong instead. Okay? Now, this part's going to get confusing and I'm going to try to make it as understandable as possible, but it will get confusing. I'll tell you on the midterm, keep the study sheets that I'm going to tell you about handy. Okay. So when we come to the midterm, keep them handy. So ethics, these are your principles or beliefs that direct your behavior. So your ethics direct what you do. Now, workplace ethics tell you what you have to do in a business setting. Okay, they're going to tell you how you need to behave. And if you don't, that's it. Okay. And there's two different things and they sound very similar. Okay, a code of conduct and a code of ethics. A code of conduct is an actual document that dictates how you are to behave when at work or representing. Okay, so if you leave work and you're wearing a jacket with their name on it, you're still representing the company and you have to adhere to that code of conduct. Okay, now a code of ethics dictates how the business should be conducted. So it tells them how businesses must do transactions, etc. Code of conduct is how you're to behave. Code of ethics tells how the business should be run. Okay. Now, unethical and illegal behavior is discrimination and harassment. This happens still today. People still harass people and they still discriminate. Okay. Now, this discrimination definition has not changed. Discrimination is unfair treatment. Okay. Discrimination here. This is treatment because these are not interchangeable. And it's based on race, gender, religion, national origin, disability, or age. Okay. Notice that there is nothing in there about sexual orientation or gender identity. It never has been in there. Okay. Never has. So a lot of things have been blown out of proportion for no reason. It has never been in the legal definition for that. Harassment. Okay. This is conduct, unsolicited conduct. And now this is an action towards another person based on race, gender, national origin, age, or disability. Again, no sexual orientation or gender identity. Okay? Now, here's the thing. This does not have to happen to you. You can witness it. Somebody else could witness you doing this, and you can be in trouble. Treat people equally and fairly, and don't do things to them, all right? Not too much to ask. Now, we have what we call digital citizenship now. We've had it forever, but now it has a name. Okay. This is you being responsible for the technology and the internet you use. So you need to protect personal information and privacy. And that includes HIPAA laws, things like that. You don't release customer information or the company's private information. You respect work and intellectual property. You don't give away company secrets. You don't tell what's going on, etc. You're aware of online safety and security. You don't post passwords, etc. And you use technology for positive communication. Don't slam people about your work. And remember, you have what we call a digital footprint. You can delete, but understand on the dark web that information will always be available. We can always find it. Cloud computing, that big old cloud up there. That's just another computer that's out there, and they are actually servers, storage, and software applications that are available. Okay, it's unethical and illegal for you to download software that has not been purchased and registered by your employer. Okay, they have to have a license or it's piracy. Okay, and you cannot take software from work unless they purchase it for you. Now, here's the kicker. Anything you do at work, even if it's your idea, invention, process, it's theirs. Okay, anybody hear of Gatorade? Everybody hear that wonderful liquid called Gatorade? Okay, called Gatorade because it was invented by students at the University of Florida. The students get no money from it. The ones that created it, they get no money, no profits from it whatsoever. They invented it at the university. It became the property of the universities. No income from it. Okay, remember that anything that you do, and be careful because things you do on your own time, if it's too close to what your work does, they can claim it as theirs still. So be very careful. If you think you're going to come up with something, check with a lawyer. Okay? Infringement, copyright, plagiarism, proprietary information, and etiquette. Infringement. You can't do things that are too close to what your company does. Copyrights, these are things that are protected. You can't take it from somebody else. Plagiarism. We have people who do this at school and they can be kicked out of their programs, even if it's their last class. Plagiarism is taking something that isn't yours and claiming it is and using it. Proprietary information is something a company owns, like the special ingredients and recipes, things that they may know how to do. You can't share it once you find out. That is theirs. That's their legal private property. Netiquette. Always be polite when representing the company online or communicating. When you're in the job search or search process, always be polite. Even if somebody's rude to you, don't slam them back because you guarantee that is going to come back to you. Okay? Always be polite, even face to face. Even when you have to stand there and talk to that person you dislike. Ever have to talk to somebody in a group setting that you just hate and you have to smile and be polite just because that's socially acceptable? I've had to do that. And the entire time you're trying to figure out exactly how big of a hole you have to dig to bury them. Yeah, I've done that. The only thing is I have access to a 12-foot alligator, so I don't have to dig holes, right? See the benefits of working with wildlife. They save you time and effort at digging holes, right? Good job. Okay, always practice netiquette. No matter how mean a customer is, don't give in. So a question came up. How do you de-escalate a situation with a rude customer or client? First things first, get another employee and you leave. Don't stay there. One of the worst things you can do is stay there. So what you do is you hand off is one situation. You being there is going to keep escalating it. If you have security escort the person out. Once that person is escorted out, if possible, lock that door. That is a clear way to get them. If needed, still don't confront them. Call the police. These are ways to de-escalate. Do not keep confronting them. Do not raise your voice ever. Shouting does not work. When two people are shouting, no one's listening. And you can let them know, I understand your concern. These are the options that I am allowed to do. I will get someone who has more options available at the time they are not here. I will escalate this as I am able to. You know, keep that calm voice. If it starts to get even more, again, ask somebody to call the police, etc. Write it on a note, pass it back, say, hold on one moment. I'm going to go get someone to help you. Go to a back area, ask someone to call the police at that time. But do not stay there where it's going to keep escalating. Always call somebody in, but never go with the shouting back and forth. That is never going to work. All right? Absolutely try your best. Okay. Rules of etiquette. Remember the human. That is another person on the other side. Same behavior online and real life. Know where you are, meaning you are still working for a company. Respect the other person's time and bandwidth. Don't keep sending them email if they're not responding. Always make yourself look good. You represent you too. And if you have information, share it. Okay. Don't flame each other back and forth because that's going to come back and bite you. Okay. And, respect each other. That is a big thing. Showing respect for privacy. Don't share people's information. Don't abuse your power. If you're over somebody, don't abuse it because you can. And understand we all make mistakes. I'm an expert at making mistakes. Now, some people go, well, I was able to do this or this. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have certification. Well, that's great, but some places are very keen on 100% of our employees are certified or have a degree. Without that, you're not going to work there. Now, I've had students come back and they're later in life students, and they have been told that they will be paid for getting a degree, getting a certification, or their other option is to seek employment elsewhere. As these certifications and degrees become more important to companies, if you don't agree to go get certified, they are letting people go. So it's very important because it lets the employer know that you have the tenacity or you have the discipline to learn certain pieces of information. You have key knowledge. Being able to do something doesn't mean you know the why you're doing it, the safety behind it, the true merits. Things like, okay, yes, I know that I feed this animal this, but do you know why you have to do that? Do you know that if you don't give this ibis this particular food, that when it's at this age, its legs will bend backwards and it will be crippled the rest of its life? This is why you do it and why you can't substitute that food. People don't know that, and this is why animals end up crippled if somebody who doesn't go to a wildlife care specialist. So there's a reason why and why we have certifications, why we have specialists. Okay. So How do we prepare? Make sure you have everything ready for any exam you may need to do. Know what you need to know. Don't try to cram. That can make things worse. Just know what you need to know. Relax the night before. Have everything ready. Have your clothes laid out. Have your to-go bag ready with all the stuff you need. Any pens, papers, anything you need for the test, bottles of water. Have your lunch or whatever you need to take with you ready to go. Know where you're going, how long it'll take you, what to do if there's road closures, etc. Make sure you get there plenty of time. Don't be rushing, and make sure that it's a legitimate test site that you're going to. Look things up. Make sure that they are legit. All right. Everybody got everything that we went over today? It's a lot. Everybody kind of getting the gist of it. Okay. Start these gears a rolling. Now, I'm not expecting you to grasp 100% of everything. It's a lot of information thrown at you. Okay. So now today, I want you to think about one quality. If I asked you, what is the one quality that sets you above your competition? I want you to think about everything you have. And again, be very specific. Tell me what that is. And one quality you would improve on. Everybody can improve on something. And remember, when employers ask you this, it's not to eliminate you, but they legitimately want to know. Because I always tell you, know what you know and don't know. Because I may ask you this as an employer because I may want to give you, you know, money to go to a particular class, or I may want to sign you up for training. And if you tell me I don't have anything that I need to improve on, you've missed out on a learning opportunity. And now I expect you to know information you can't possibly know. All right. So think about that question and answer that before 11:59 tonight. I know y'all typically answer much earlier than that, but that's what I want you to think about uh, so that you can kind of start realizing all your qualities, and this will all wrap up into something. There's a reason why we're going about things the way we are. Okay? Everybody good for today? Yes, yes. We're all right? Thumbs up? Yes, yes, yes. All right. We will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Y'all have a great day.